Everything is confused. I was. Well, I might be.
Hi, I'm Chris of Icebox Studios, and as part of the Blender Gooseberry project, I've been teaming up with Gecko Animation to bring the art of Poked Studio to life as one of the segments of the feature film. Project Gooseberry is the codename of the open source Blender feature film, which will involve a dozen studios all over the world. Right now we're at the fundraising stage, and if you're interested in supporting us, you can find out more at gooseberry.blender.org. Poked Studio is headed by Jonathan Ball. He's our art director, and he's made a name for himself with very distinctive, colourful, crazy characters, and I'm really excited about the chance to bring his work to life. For the teaser trailer, he came to us with a concept of a rabbit-like thing stuck on a seat watching TV in a dimly lit room. His proportions aren't like anything in real life. He's got these massive eyes, and his body and head are basically the same thing.
Oh, well, I might be.
The voice of the rabbit is the actor Tom Hudson, and when I got the audio track I listened to it over and over again, working out what emotions and traits I could feel coming through. He comes off as nervous, hesitant and surprised. I then filmed myself miming the voice to see what acting ideas I could come up with.
Oh, well, I might be.
I imagined the little guy looking away as he was talking, almost as though he's being confronted and is a little unsure of himself. But since he's saying might and not committing himself, I figured that might be enough for him to raise his confidence a little, and after avoiding the audience's gaze for as long as possible, he finally looks back at the camera. Eye movement in this shot is very important, and the video reference really helped me to pick up on some of the subtleties involved. In between my starting pose and looking away to the side, I first opened my eyes without moving my head. When I was happy with my reference, I then jot down a plan in my sketchbook, even if it's unintelligible to anyone else. And then in Blender, I'll begin by laying down my keys, which are the bare storytelling poses, then the extremes, which describe the main poses the character takes, and finally the breakdowns, which describe how the character moves from one extreme to the next. I tend to spend quite a large part of the time on a shot just going back and forth between these poses, tweaking each one dozens of times until I'm happy. I'll look at things like the silhouette, how clear the expression is and how it flows with those around it. In particular, I'll be looking at the body mass and how its shape overlaps. From the rabbit's starting position to him looking sideways, his body shifts over to the left, so I adjusted the pose in between so that the mass overlaps both diagonally. When I was happy with the poses, I went over each body part individually and animated it straight ahead. It's the Richard Williams way of working, and it's at this stage that you can really add in those details and subtleties that make your animation interesting. Because the rabbit's eyes are so oversized, it's them that you're going to be focused on when watching, and I found that the head movement needs to be very, very subtle. Since his body and head are basically the same thing, if you make him nod his head, it causes his eyes to lunge back and forth, and their arcs become unpredictable. So I applied a trick that was used by the guys at Valve, who had basically just an eyeball to work with when they made Wheatley in Portal 2. The eye and head are the same thing, so he'll shake his head by looking left and right. I wanted the rabbit to nod to himself, as though he was trying to give himself confidence, so back in Blender I tried dipping the eyes quickly instead, and it helped to keep the eyes in place while still giving a readable performance.
Oh, well, I might be.
So, it's a short clip, but it was long enough for me to start getting some ideas on how such a character could be brought to life. And Project Gooseberry is a chance for us to really get our hands dirty, and push these ideas even further, and make something really crazy, colourful and fun to watch. So again, you can learn more about the project at gooseberry.blender.org, and thanks for watching.